Cissé. Oh, it's fabulous! A strike to get you up off your seats.
Hello and welcome to Seagulls Social. This is the Leicester at home match preview, and Ben is back, everyone. Woo!
What?
He's made a return to the pod, and he's in Swansea, live from Swansea.
Yeah, live from the beautiful Swansea, may I add, Maz. I'd had a perception of Swansea being an absolute dump, I'm not going to lie, but I've come here and it's beautiful. It's picturesque. It's Windows desktop screensavers everywhere you look, and it's beautiful. I would love to come here again. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. I would go as far as saying.
That's a big claim. It's a big claim.
A beautiful
spot. Hopefully Swansea away day, maybe one. Well, when they hopefully get promoted, we don't get relegated, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And, at this rate.
Well, that's a good segue, Ben, to get straight into it. Right, we got Leicester, Ben, at home. Now, Leicester, I believe it's 8 games without a goal. They've not scored in.
Yeah, 8 at home. I think they've only won 2 in the last 18 in all competitions.
Yeah, funny enough,
Dr.
their last
Brighton
win
coming up
was Tottenham away, which is quite hilarious, really.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
funny.
Spurs away, 2-1 victory. But yeah, since then, they've lost every game on the bounce. And yeah, look, I said this to Jack in our last podcast. I said, for me, and I never say this, you know this, I never say this, but I said this is a must win. Like anything less than a win, it has to happen. So yeah, do you share that sentiment straight off the bat?
I actually do, more so just because of probably the meltdown Brighton fans are going to have online and around the stadium. I mean, I guess maybe not around the stadium. It's more online, really, isn't it? These meltdowns that we have.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say that I'm not part of these meltdowns. It is quite. I really don't enjoy watching the meltdowns because, for what Hurst has come from, the unbelievable run that we've been on, and then he's lost 2 games. I get it. Palace is a huge game. That was very disappointing to lose that. And people were saying it was against 9 men, but 9 men for 12 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah, 12 minutes.
It's not as hard. You can't keep saying we lost to a team with 9 men, really. I know it says it on paper. I'm just worried about the meltdown. Leicester have been on such a poor run. I can't believe that there's a team better than Southampton, and somehow that's Leicester. I think Leicester are really giving Southampton a run for the money of being one of the worst Premier League teams ever. And it just seems so Dr. Brighton for them to then get a point, score against us. That just seems so classic for Brighton for that to happen. So the meltdown, if it does happen, with Palace on our arse in the league, 2 points behind, I think, in the league. It's
they're right in the race for Conference League now.
In the race, which is they do this now, don't they? They have this spell at the end of the season. We start well, they start poorly.
4 points behind.
4 points. We start well, they start badly, and then they somehow creep up as we digress a little bit. It's happened the past couple of seasons, it seems, hasn't it? And I think that's probably part of their meltdown now because Palace are playing so well. They're into the FA Cup semi-final. I don't want to keep comparing us to Palace. I think we've done so much better than them in our Premier League history than they have. And they've been in this league for a lot longer than us. So it's just unfortunate.
Who got to Europe first, Ben?
Exactly. And it's just unfortunate that they're now fighting for Europe with us. So that's going to make this run-in for Conference League even more stressful.
Yeah.
But
they have got a game in hand as well, which doesn't help. They could close the gap to a point. But yeah, let's forget Palace for a second here. Like we said, Leicester for me, I agree with you, Ben. I can see it being a Dr. Brighton situation, a team that hasn't scored in so long. To then it's just typical, especially with what happened at their ground when we were 2-0 up, and then we just threw it away. That was one of the most frustrating sort of games to watch as a Brighton fan. Yeah, being 2-0 up, you look like you were cruising, and then all of a sudden they get a goal, and then they end up scoring another one to equalise, and it's just so frustrating. And look, thankfully for us as well, big point to make here. Buonanotte, arguably, I know he's been coming off the bench a lot, and he's not actually been starting a lot for them, but he, for me, is probably one of their most exciting attackers and sort of one of the biggest threats. When he came on the other night,
for sure.
Yeah, most creative, exactly. And so, him not playing against us I think it's a big bonus. I know he doesn't start. I do want to emphasise that. I know he's not been starting.
It is weird that, isn't it? I mean, Leicester fans, if they are watching, let us know why, because I'm pretty sure under Steve Cooper, he was doing well. And he looked one of their most brightest players. I just don't understand how Ruud van Nistelrooy...
I think Van Nistelrooy's just got a weird... it seems like he's got a really weird relationship with the squad at the moment. Obviously with the whole Harry Winks situation. And then, not play Buonanotte after he's impressed under Cooper, like you said, it's a weird one, isn't it?
As an attacking manager in Rude, you think that he would like Buonanotte and like that sort of player. So
they haven't scored in 7 games, so he's not doing very well from an attacking.
Yeah, it's actually a good thought. Yeah, just goes to show their squad is abysmal, which I probably shouldn't say because we might drop points to them. Well, I probably will drop points to them. But their squad is abysmal, and I can say that with my chest. This is
going to be really controversial. I think, as of right now, if we're talking right this minute, I think they're worse than Southampton. Which some people might think like they have crazy
nothing. It looks like they have no identity, which is insane. And Southampton obviously kind of do, maybe not so much under the guy that's just left. Obviously under Russell Martin, fair play, he stuck to his guns and tried playing the way that he got Southampton promoted. That's the sort of manager that Brighton would probably look at in the future because he does have a great philosophy and would suit our sort of club. It's just Leicester have no identity and then somehow managed to get a draw off of us. I'm just really worried that that's going to happen again. Luckily, it's at home at the Amex, so I feel like that gives us a little bit more of an edge. But I mean, it could be a bit of not a hostile atmosphere, but it probably won't be a party atmosphere that has been recently after our unbelievable results. Well,
be interesting to know. I don't know the mathematics, and I probably should have done a little bit of research prior to this. But I don't know if they can get relegated because they've only got 17 points and another 7 games to play. So I think if we beat them, we potentially could relegate them. Potentially, again, I don't know the official, mathematical goings on, but they are. Yeah, they've only got 17 points, which is only 7 points more than Southampton, and they've been relegated. So yeah, I think they're not far off. Maybe in the next couple of games, I think they're sealed.
That'd be quite interesting. Actually, seeing a team get relegated at the Amex and seeing a team win the Premier League at the Amex, because obviously we saw City lift the trophy there. That'd be quite something.
No, 100%. Well, we might even see Liverpool at this rate, the way they're playing. They might secure it.
Genuinely good
penultimate game of the season. And then also, Ben, I wanted to ask as well, in terms of the Leicester players, I know we identified Buonanotte, who's, in our opinion, obviously probably biased, but one of the most dangerous players. If there is going to be a player to score or, damage our potential ability to win the game, who is it? Because obviously they've got Vardy, they've got El Khanous, Daka in those forward positions. In the midfield, they've got Samare and Didi, but I don't know if they're going to be those kind of creative players. Yeah, is there anyone that could potentially do anything? But looking at that team, again, respectfully, I don't know where that threat's going to come from. Where's it coming from?
I would say from watching them every now and then, match of the day, or maybe catching them on the Sky Sports highlights, that El Khanous looks like probably their most technical player. I feel like he's probably been their best player in my opinion, this whole season. So it's probably him, but that's how bad they have been that I could not point out another name and say he looks like he could cause us problems. Obviously, Jamie Vardy on his day, he still has that ability. He still has that pace, even though he's 39 years old now, which is insane. And he's a great clinical finisher, so you give him a chance in our box, and he's going to be able to put it on the target. There's no doubt in that. So yeah, Vardy and El Khanous could cause us some issues, but everyone else I don't really have any worries about. But unless their goalkeeper then suddenly has like an unbelievable performance, which very much has happened in the history of the Amex. Goalkeepers come and have their best games and turn into Manuel Neuer. So you never know. Is it Herman? Yeah. You might end up turning into that as well.
Big Herm. Yeah. No, I agree with you, mate. I'm struggling to sort of identify someone who I'm really scared about that's going to come and cause damage, which again is probably going to backfire and see us lose 3-0. But yeah, I just can't see it right now, and just the way they're playing, I just don't know where they're going to get their inspiration from. I don't see it coming from Van Nistelrooy. I think he's had a really, really poor experience with Leicester since he came in from Man United. I just think he's been really, really bad. He's not given them an identity. He's not done anything, and obviously this 7-game goalless run for a guy who scored so many goals, you'd like to think he'd be able to stamp his authority on that. But yeah,
and he has Jamie Vardy. You think he'd be able? Obviously, Jamie Vardy's a well-accomplished striker. You'd think that Rude would give some tips to the attackers, even if it was Jamie Vardy. But I guess maybe Jamie Vardy's at that age where maybe he can't learn anymore.
I think he's a little bit over the hill now, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit over the hill. It is bizarre though that a manager like Ruud van Nistelrooy can't get that team to score goals.
I think it does not to go into this whole big debate of where the standard of that big talk, isn't it, at the moment, about how promoted teams really struggle to stay in the league unless they spend either a ridiculous amount of money or just play really defensive football and just try and get through the season by getting a 1-0 win here and there. But yeah, without getting into all that, I think just the way that Leicester, their squad is not good enough. I think simple as that. They just didn't recruit in the summer in the right areas, and they just don't have the squad to compete, unfortunately for them. But
felt like they didn't recruit at all, really.
No, I know, no, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Leicester fans might be able to tell us a little bit different. And also, another random fact, I saw something on Opta about Ruud van Nistelrooy. Has he won as many games against Leicester this season as he has with Leicester this season?
I think you're
because
right.
He's beaten Leicester. Did he beat Leicester twice?
While he was at Man United,
yeah. Yeah. I think if that's true, I hope it's true, because I'm pretty sure I saw something about that, which is the most bizarre stat ever. It just shows how bad they've been this season.
It's insane. But look, it looks like we've set ourselves up for a calamitous backfire in here. But to sum it up, I think we have to go into this game. We have to win. Do you
think our team are lacking confidence, or do you think they'll be absolutely fine going into this one?
Oh mate, I think off the back of 3 defeats, technically 2, but the cup game as well. Yeah, I think we are going to go into it. Hopefully. So, actually, sorry, let me rewind a little bit. I did see a couple of things, actually. I don't know if you saw it. There was pictures from Ayari and João Pedro on holiday. I don't know if you saw that. And I saw a few fans getting a bit weird about that. And they were like, oh, not sure about that. Like, it's a bad look. And I'm like, do you know what? I've got the opposite view. I think it's a great thing. It's a good thing. Because if we have players that are burnt out from 3 games in quick succession, really back-to-back, essentially, to lose all of them, I think you do need that time just to go rest, shut off your mind, just relax for a little bit.
Hard reset.
Yeah, reset. Exactly, hard reset. And I'm sure it would have been, a couple of days out, if that?
Yeah.
And they had, 7 days to 6 days between games. 2 days out and then you train for 4? I don't see the issue in that.
He's not rewarding them for the bad results. I don't know why people would take it that way.
No, they haven't had a rest in...
Yeah,
they haven't had a rest in like a week or 2 weeks. So, I think it's, for me, it's no issue. So hopefully that break for a few of the players, hopefully makes them come back bit more confident, a bit more rejuvenated, and they can go into this game with a mentality.
Spending time with friends and family, like away from work, and you come back. Like even in our line of work, if you had a little bit of holiday, you come back, you feel fresh and ready to go again. You forget 100%. Anything has ever happened. Like it'll be the exact same for the players for sure.
Yeah. So I think, don't get me wrong. I think in terms of the results, I think their confidence is going to be a little bit low. But I think hopefully with a nice week's rest or week's training, that togetherness, hopefully Herzler can bounce back and get the boys G'd up for it, because
it's a big week for Herzler, and also just the leaders in our squad to just step up, like Duncan, Welbeck. As long as these older heads in the squad can get the youngsters on side and make them forget about what's happened and just focus on the next game. And obviously it's a massive opportunity to get 3 points in this one.
No, 100%. And then final thing I want to just talk about is, again, this is from Mr. Lion, which anyone on Twitter is familiar. Mr. Lion apparently is like in the know at times. And he's got a few things right, but some things wrong as well. But he's apparently said that Charlie Tasker is going to start tomorrow, which is very interesting. 19-year-old right back, plays in the under-21s. Now, we have been struggling at right back. Obviously, Lamptey and Veltman not being fit is an interesting one. So if he does come in, that'd be huge. Again, this is a very unreliable source, so don't take this as verbatim. But yeah, if he does start, Ben, that'd be quite a big news, wouldn't it? Really, especially a right back.
And I'm pretty sure. I don't want to get this wrong. Well, I know he's a local lad. He's friends with Ethan. Nozza, big Nozza. He's been on the bench. Yeah. He's been on the bench for a past couple of games. I'm pretty sure. Is he like the fair-headed blonde lad, isn't he?
He was on the bench for Palace.
It'll mean a lot for him to come on, and I think he's on the bench for Forest as well.
I think you're right.
That'll be a huge moment for him and the club to get another local lad in the team. And yeah, I mean, if we're actually that desperate, then I mean, screw it. I mean, the only issue with that, I'm then thinking about what we were talking about earlier with El Canouse. He plays more on the left, doesn't he? It might be a bit tricky for Charlie's first game against a tricky winger. So,
but it does mean that potentially then Hinchell would go into centre midfield with Baleba, which I'm a really big fan of. Also, other team news, Ben, obviously Van Heck suspended as well. So looks like Cashin is going to come in at centre back from the start, which I think will do him a lot of good. Not coming off the bench, being thrown in at Villa with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, what did you guys make of that? Because I wasn't on that, but when I saw him come on, I was like, God, this is again baptism of fire gets used.
We discussed it. Yeah, he did have a stinker, but he's been thrown in at the deep end, and he's going to be. hopefully starting from the off, I think that would be a massive thing for him, and hopefully give him confidence, especially if he has a good game. I think that would just boost him, and another option going into the latter end of this season where we've got 7 games to go after that, or 6 games to go. We're going to need him, especially if Webster's out for the rest of the season, which is looking likely.
You'd like to think the Leicester
back up to Van Heck.
You'd like to think the Leicester attack is more his level than Villa's. Villa, they smelt blood as soon as he came on. Exactly. Even before he was on, obviously, they were all over us, like looking like they were going to score. So, yeah, that was a really rough way to get.
I think it's a really good game for him to start. Because hopefully he gets 90 minutes under his belt and he does well and has a solid game, and that will just build his confidence and hopefully just get him more adapted to the way we play, etc., etc. And then also Jeremy Monga, the 15-year-old for Leicester, he might be in with a shout. He might be thinking, look, the way we're playing, get me in, Gaffer, get me in. But a lot going on.
You see about the whole betting thing, he couldn't wear the sponsor on his shirt.
Yeah, because he's too young.
Mad, isn't it?
I think he was 15 years.
Someone said he was. I think he wasn't born and Fortnite came out. Or am I making it up? No, he was. Sorry, no, he was like 7 years old and Fortnite came out.
Mad.
Which is
15.
bonkers. Absolutely bonkers.
But interesting team news. We'll see what lineup we go with, and hopefully a strong one. And we can get that win against Leicester. So final thing, Ben, match prediction. Talk to me. Scores.
Yeah. I know we've been so apprehensive about this game, but I'm gonna have to back the boys because as fans we could be worried, but I think the players, the quality will hopefully show on the pitch. So I'm gonna say 2-0 win.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really torn about this whole goal duck thing for them in terms of whether they'll break it or not. I think they are going to break it against us. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 win. I think, we're going to win. I'm confident. I think the boys are going to bounce back. We need to bounce back. We have to win. Like, we can't not do anything else. But 3-1 win for me.
I feel like other teams don't know about this Dr. Brighton thing, do they? So when they listen to our previews as other fans, they're like, what are they talking about Dr. Brighton? We always use it with strikers that haven't scored in ages, and we say they always score against us. And it is a thing, if Leicester fans are watching, there is such a thing called Dr. Brighton. It's not just something we've made up recently. We just love to gift people their first goals, debut goals, and they haven't scored in 3 months and whatnot. So enjoy your goal. Enjoy your goal at the Amex.
Hopefully that's all they have to celebrate.
Yeah.
But no, Ben, always a pleasure, mate. Always good to have you on. And we shall enjoy Swansea, and we shall see you post Leicester. Hopefully we'll get a pod on Sunday morning if everyone's about. But just trying to get everyone it together is a bit tough. But we'll try and get that for you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And fingers crossed for a Brighton win, and we'll see you after. Peace.